All right, everybody, welcome to the show. I got a special guest with me tonight. You've heard me talk about him on the show before. His Instagram handle is I Can Paint. I want to welcome my buddy Jack to the show. Jack, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Good to have you on. I brought you on for one of the main reasons. You're a super movie buff like me, and
Yes,
one of your specialties is horror movies.
yes,
You're like a horror movie nut. You go to like all like Comic Con stuff and the horror movie uh, conventions and things like that. We were talking the other day, and we brought up it was the worst horror movie. Well, they call it the worst movie of all time ever made. A horror movie called Troll 2. You know the one
yes,
I'm talking about, right?
I do.
All right.
So let me give you a little background on how my love for movies, especially horror movies, started.
Okay.
So I'm a kid. I was born in the late '70s. My parents were very young when they had me, and never really, other than my grandparents watching me, they never really put me with a babysitter. So when they used to go
Sure.
out when they were 21, 22, they used to take me everywhere. So I saw movies and I was exposed to movies at such an early age. And they always said I was such a well behaved kid. So they took me all the time. I saw Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone when I was 4 years old in the movie theater. Nighthawks, it dealt with
Yeah,
rape and
yeah.
terrorism. And my mom was, I think she just found out she was pregnant with me after they saw The Exorcist in 73.
So there's
They
a
went to see The
little
Exorcist.
connection there. There's a little
Yeah,
horror connection.
yeah. So at a very early age, we would go over my Uncle Louie and Aunt Marie's house in Queens. And my Uncle Louie helped shape my love for movies because he collected what was back then Betamax and
Yeah.
then VHS and Laserdisc. And I saw all the movies with my parents and them from Poltergeist all the way up. To this day, I still meet with them and we still watch movies together.
Oh
So
wow.
I always was into movies big time. Always.
Very nice. Oh, that's cool. That I
Yes.
mean, like I tried to take, you know, I've taken my kids to movies, and I try to be the good parent, and you try and go PG. I mean, back then when we were kids, it was a lot different.
It was very
People
different.
people just drag their kid like, let's go. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen certain movies. You go in and they're bringing the little baby carriage thing in. The little
Hmm.
That's a little
It's
too much. So
ridiculous.
to me,
Ridiculous.
that's too much. You want to see the movie, you want to enjoy the movie. I don't want to hear the kids screaming. But
My older daughter will I've taken her to horror movies. She's into it. My younger daughter, not so much. She doesn't like it too much. We do other things, but my older daughter, she likes it. She gets it. So we'll
she'll enjoy it. Yeah,
yeah, she eats it up.
that's good.
So
Yeah,
that, like, I used to have Fangora magazine and my walls were
yeah,
covered
yeah,
with those pictures. But yeah, there's all, so I'm a child of the 80s and I think those movies are
yeah,
the best. And I will rather watch a horror movie with a rubber mask than CGI any day of the week.
yeah.
Any
It
day.
it had more of that creepy vibe to it. It
Yes.
definitely did. Now let me ask you this: with your daughter that likes the movies, does she laugh at like the old horror movies from the '80s? Because my middle one will watch horror movies from like the '80s and just she goes, these aren't scary at all. To
Yeah.
her, it doesn't move her. It doesn't scare her at all. She'll laugh at all of them.
Movies that scared the hell out of me as a kid. She's looking at me like I have five heads.
Yeah. Yep.
But I
Yeah.
made her I made her sit through like the 1934 original Frankenstein, which is a rough watch for anybody.
Yeah.
And she dug it, but she liked also the new Child's Play, and I hated it. I thought it was terrible.
I didn't. I
It was hard.
refused to say it. I was like,
It was horrible.
what are they really gonna do?
It
How
was,
much more can they do with it?
well, movies aren't original anymore. They're all rehashing older things. You
Like
know,
the Pink
as soon
Panther.
as they
I refused.
yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as they remake Jaws, I'm done.
Yeah. That might be. Yeah.
Come on, you certain things you have to leave alone.
And then they
But the
just
bet
and now it's almost like it's like a 15, 20 year reboot cycle.
Yes.
between like the Jurassic Parks, you know, things like Batman. Look at this. We're in the second Batman in less than 5 years.
Yeah.
Second guy playing.
No,
It's,
there's 700 Spider-Mans. It's just,
yeah.
it's not original anymore. But I did watch the Insidious movies and the Conjuring movies with my buddy Mike, and they were good. We enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's no good horror movies really anymore. The last one I saw that was very clever was Cabin in the Woods. I thought that was good. That was very good. It was very different.
And that was a while ago.
And that was a while ago.
Yeah.
But I still rotate back to those B terrible but great horror movies. And Troll 2 is one of those movies that you watch and you cringe.
Yeah, it was bad. Like I did a little bit of a deep dive watching. I watched the whole thing actually last night, and then I just did a little surfing on the web about it. And the one thing I noticed watching it, the dialogue, the way they speak, it speaks like someone who just learned English. It's some of the lines are in like almost broken English.
Mm-hmm.
The director and the writer are both Italian.
Yes.
They were from Italy, and the cast went to the director and told him, we don't talk like this. This is how we do not talk like this in America. No, you're going to do it word for word, and that's it. There's no changing anything.
They couldn't even understand his directions because he was speaking Italian half the time.
Yeah.
So they couldn't understand what they were doing. And they were all nobodies. And I think that was the only movie that mainly all of them ever made.
Yeah, when you do the little IMDb on them.
Yeah, there's nothing.
It's pretty much this, and like they were an extra on the show Jag or something like that.
Yeah, the lead guy is a dentist.
Yeah, the lead. Yep,
he's a nice guy, very likable.
Yeah, and he's got the most famous line in it. Was it? You don't piss on hospitality when he he throws the kid, which that whole fucking scene throws me for a loop anyway.
And they make him go to conventions and repeat that line constantly, and he does it with a smile on his face.
Oh yeah, he's enjoying his 15 minutes. It seems like because when you see him even in the documentary,
loves it.
He starts to enjoy it. There is one part though where they're not the focus when they're at one of these conventions, like no one's coming to their table.
Yes,
and that's when he loses it.
Reality
kicks in
quick.
Yeah, and he goes, I don't want to be here. Let's go get drunk, and they leave and go to some bar.
When you're standing next to the dude who played Jason 5, and no one wants to come to your line and sign your horrible rubber mask.
Yeah, and he had, I think, who's he talking to in that? Oh, one of the girls that was in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
She was in, I think, the first one. That's it. You never hear from her again.
Never.
And she's getting nobody at her table, and he's like, this is what it's like. I was like, let's get out of here. I'm done.
I've been to the Chillers convention in Jersey a bunch of times. Now I started out, anyone who knows me knows I'm a big Sylvester Stallone fan. Rocky's my favorite movie ever made. So I went to Comic-Con, I think in 2016, and stood online for 6 hours to meet Stallone. And it was great. It was great. I had a whole speech set out, didn't say anything. And it was phenomenal. So I started going to these things, these conventions, because they sell really cool stuff, things you can't get. And I collect DVDs anyway, so you have them signed. Yeah. Like the vampire from Lost Boys, who isn't the guy in Bill and Ted and not Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, he shows up. Yeah.
He shows up. And he'll talk to you for an hour and a half because they're not doing anything. And it's very cool, but the people there are bizarre. It's weird. I've seen grown men cry talking to Henry Winkler. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
He was the Fonz.
He was.
He was the hey.
Exactamundo.
If he gives you an Exactamundo, I might well up if I met Arthur
Exactamundo. The only person who I clammed up on big time, other than Stallone, was Carl Weathers. Really? Those two, Somebody came up to me, Carl Weathers, who, for anyone who doesn't know, who lives in Mars, is Apollo Creed. And someone came up to sign an Action Jackson picture. And I was like, what are you doing? That's Apollo Creed right there.
Yeah.
But you meet some weird, and there's always like the B movies. Like there's a movie Basket Case. Did you ever see Basket
Yeah,
Case?
I remember Basket Case. Yeah.
They were there, and the Thing was there. So Basket Case
Yeah.
was about a Siamese twin that was removed
Yeah.
from his brother, and the Thing lives in a basket that the kid carries around. And it's filmed in New York City in 1982, and it looks like New York City in 1982. And they're just throwing this rubber conjoined twin at people. It's horrible.
It looked like Quato from
Yes,
Total
it
Recall.
did.
It's got like
Totally
that kind of like the head and the arms, and that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that was 1982. That movie.
1982.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went down. I saw like some. You know, you see trailers for like other movies like I haven't seen in like Critters,
Critters. Yeah.
Ghoulies. Like I still remember Ghoulies with the thing coming
Yeah.
out of the toilet.
Toilet bowl.
And you saw that they had the poster for it.
But it's funny, a lot of these bad B movies have A-list celebrities now who were in them, who were nobodies then. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, one of his first movies was Critters 2.
Oh, I didn't.
That was one of his first movies.
I mean, I remember Jennifer Aniston's Leprechaun. You could go way back. Kevin Bacon, Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Who else do we have? Anybody else? Who else? It's got to be some other big names. Oh, Chud. Didn't Chud have a whole bunch?
Chud had let me think. It had the father from Home Alone.
Yeah, John Hurd. Okay.
It had the guy who played Marv from Home Alone 2 also. So it had the father and Daniel Stern.
Yes.
And John Goodman, one of John Goodman's first roles. He was an NYPD cop at the diner in the end.
Oh.
And you know who else? In Cheers, Carla's husband.
Oh, the hockey player guy?
No, didn't he clean the ice?
Yeah. Him, yeah.
Him. He was in that too. He was one of the cops at the end. Yeah. A lot of big time movie stars get their debuts in low budget nonsense movies. But the biggest B movie that blew up is Evil Dead. That was a B movie.
Yeah, that's what put Sam Raimi on the map. Maybe.
Yeah.
But
and that just
Bruce Campbell never became a huge star though.
No.
Like you thought it was gonna. I mean, that's his buddy. He puts him in everything.
Yeah.
But he never really made it out.
No. And I heard he's a real jerk off in person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. The only person who was I met the guy who was in Reanimator.
Oh, the young doctor.
The doctor? Yeah, he was a jerk off.
Really?
Mm.
He's still
not a nice guy. I was like, bro,
he was like the big shit from a 1995 movie.
I think he was in the Frighteners. That was it.
Yeah.
He was in the Frighteners. But I especially now in October, I'll circle around and watch horror movies that I haven't seen. Yesterday, I watched the original Fright Night, which is hands down one of my favorites.
Evil Ed.
I met him too. He's did porn for a while, and I think it was
hardcore gay porn for a while.
Yeah,
and I think
pretty much
he might still do it.
Pretty much. And American Werewolf in London. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, the original's great.
Phenomenal. But that's the thing. Movies used to be and with all this Corona stuff and movie theaters not opening, and everything now is streaming and movies are going right on to this may be it for movie theaters. This may be a wrap. And I really hope not.
It's kind of like it's not an event anymore.
No.
Like you used to Friday or Saturday, it was like, I'm going to the movies.
Yeah, movies were a thing.
Yeah. Now I'm just laying on my couch and all right, I'll hit a button and order that for $8.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. That's why I still like DVDs, because it's a tangible object you can hold and put in instead of just, you don't own anything. It's in the
cloud,
the atmosphere. The mystery cloud. Like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, it's not it is like you said, it's not a tangible item anymore. It's not. It's
No.
not. It's not getting ready to go out. It's not getting ready to do anything. You just, all right, go put some popcorn in the microwave and
Yeah,
whenever
it's
you're
not an
ready.
event. There's something about watching a movie and on a big screen and sitting next to a bunch
Yeah.
of people you have no concept who they are and all having a fear bond for a scary movie. There's nothing like it.
Being with 100 people clapping at the end of a movie.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen. I can't remember the last.
The last,
Maybe Avengers when everyone.
that's what I was
you know,
gonna. That's what I was gonna say.
just about it, and that's only because they made 85 movies.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which,
Avengers Endgame, there was people clapping.
yeah.
And it was a cool feeling. I enjoyed it because I remember seeing Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing Empire Strikes Back in the movie theater. I was too young for the first one, but Empire Strikes Back, and people were blown out of their minds.
Yeah.
Like you didn't see these things. And now
yeah,
everything is so CGI, and I think it takes you out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
It takes you out of it. I like makeup. I like masks. I like practical effects. Those are artists doing, and coming from an art background, I look at these movies and I see the sets. Tim Burton's movies, I'm a big fan of. I just started watching Penny Dreadful. Did you ever watch it?
The TV show, right? The
Yes.
Showtime.
It's on. I think it's on Netflix now.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. It's set like in the late 1800s, and it ties in Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, Dorian Gray, all these different people, Jack the Ripper, who's the doctor? Dr. Hyde and
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
That whole thing, and it's very cool. And I like those period pieces because think of what into making that. People have to do set decoration.
Yeah.
They have to get the wardrobes. They talking with accents and stuff like that. And you forget that it's 2020 and the world's ending from coronavirus.
Yeah, we're all gonna be dead in a week anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, the president's fine, so
he beat it in 3 days.
He beat it.
It only takes 3 days. He took that mask off, like he gave the "fuck you" to coronavirus. Where he just
did you hear what he said? He said that it was a gift from God that he got. Wow.
Look at me. Look at me. I did it. This is why we quarantining for 14 days. Get out there.
Maybe he lived. Maybe he lived because Eddie Van Halen died.
Could be. He could have taken some of Eddie's energy.
You think he took his spot?
Yeah.
If he starts playing sick riffs, we have a problem. If he starts playing an Eruption, at the next meeting thing, then we know that he ingested him and how he has his powers.
If he puts either Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth on his cabinet,
or the guy from Extreme.
Yeah. Well, that'll be the second term. If he gets reelected, the guy from Extreme will come in the second term.
Extreme Halen. I saw Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, and I'm one of the few guys who actually like Sammy Hagar better than David Lee Roth.
They say if you go through it, he had more hits. They had more hits with Hagar than David Lee Roth.
I believe it.
They said David Lee Roth was a complete egomaniac nut job.
He's a crazy person.
Yeah.
He's a crazy person. Complete. And I saw I think also my interest in horror movies started with me liking and finding the band Kiss as a kid in feety pajamas.
Oh yeah, they were they crossed that whole spectrum. They went from they got little kids, they got adults, they got everybody in between, and everyone thought they were this family type band. Which back then they kind of had a little bit of the Satanist angle going.
Yeah.
But I saw them twice in the last 10 years. You could take your grandmother to that show.
You can.
They do not curse.
No.
They encourage you having families there.
Yeah, you see little kids with huge phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I saw them maybe about 8 years ago, maybe more, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you know who opened for them? Poison. And Poison was phenomenal. It was great.
I saw them with Motley
You saw
Crue.
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue.
2 different shows.
Yeah. Motley Crue has strippers dancing on poles.
Yeah.
And Vince Neil is fuck, fuck, fuck every other word.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there with my son was probably 10, 11 years old. He's laughing his ass off. And then Kiss comes out and they're like handing out apples and candy to the kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here's money we raised for the troops, everybody. Look, we're so good. And let's sing Kumbaya.
They still are doing it, though. You got to give them credit.
They're smart. Hey, they know how to do a business. They run a business. Kiss is a business.
Gene Simmons found Van Halen.
Yeah.
And there's your 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Back to, and we refer back to Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. It all works back.
Yep.
All right. So you want to get into Troll 2 a little?
Sure.
All right. So you've seen the movie. I just watched it for the first time the other night. It's not, I don't think it's the worst movie of all time, but it is horrible.
It's very bad.
It's like it was like going to work. It felt like going to work, having to deal with this hour and a half.
It's bad. People who act bad and can't get the dialogue out, and it looks like they're reading a teleprompter, right off the bat, I'm checking out. Yeah. And that's what this entire movie was.
It is. It's like the beats, the movie had no beat or rhythm to it.
No, nothing. And the movie's called Troll 2, and there was not a troll in the movie. They were goblins.
Yeah.
And they were bad looking.
The town is goblin spelled backwards. That's the big joke in it, the big reveal of Nilbog, the town they go to.
Yes.
Nilbog is goblin spelled back. Okay, then why is the movie called Troll 2? It's
terrible.
It made no sense. It really made no sense. Watching it, I didn't, like you said, you didn't enjoy it. It was like just something I had to get to the end to. It was something just trying to watch. So they go to this town. It's like an exchange program in the beginning. The family from the city is going to go out and exchange houses with some family from the country.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the town of Nilbog is filled with these troll people, but they're disguised as like human beings, regular human beings. And at night or whenever they want to, they turn into the trolls and they eat people they turn people into trees and eat their leaves, and they turn them into like this. Half the budget of this movie, probably 3/4 of the budget of this movie is green dye. Because that's the big thing. Green is everywhere in this movie. The food is green. The milk is green. They have green sweat coming out of their bodies. Their hands turn green, and they just eat these people when they turn into trees.
I guess they went with the chlorophyll theme, right?
The whole thing. The trees are chlorophyll, and we got to eat the people.
The movie's terrible. The movie's terrible. The masks are horrible.
Yes.
And the best part was this documentary.
Yeah.
Because they knew how bad it was and they were embarrassed. But a bunch of, I guess, hipsters or something made this movie.
They resurrected. Yeah.
They made this movie a cult thing.
Mm-hmm.
It got back to a couple people in the cast, and they started hunting out the other cast members. There was 2 cast members that stood out to me that were horror shows to see what they're doing now. Do you know who are the 2 for you?
I'll say it was Grandpa and the wife.
It was the wife, and it was the store owner.
Oh, the store. Well, he was just creepy. When you watch this movie, the guy that plays the store owner did not act. I think he's just a genuinely creepy guy. When he comes out from that curtain, you get scared. That's the one thing that scares you in the whole movie. When
he's the scariest thing in the movie.
Yeah, he is very scary. And in the documentary, the guy that played the grandfather, they're gonna find his body when they do, like, he's a hoarder. When they go in his house, he's got shit all over the house.
Like, he's got newspapers up to, you have to shimmy by when you go to the bathroom. Yeah, and there's a litter box in his bathroom.
Yeah, 300 pounds of books and newspapers are going to fall on him, and they'll find him in 3 weeks.
And the one who played the wife.
Yeah, she wasn't insane.
she's a crazy person. She's got 72 cats, and she has pictures of cats all over her walls, just like ripped out magazine. She's taking care of her mother, who doesn't want these cameras filming anything, and she's nuts. And didn't she start to cry because she thought that the little kid who plays her son, when he cried seeing her killed in the movie, as she's re-talking about this 20-something years later, she starts crying on how great he acted. She's gone. She's checked.
She's on a lot of meds. She is on a lot of meds watching that.
Oh, she is.
Because then they reenact she wants to reenact the one scene of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Where the guy's like 35 years old now. He's like, I don't want to do this. And you can tell he's just so uncomfortable. And she's doing it line. She knew everybody else's line. She was. And the sad part is when you watch that scene, her mother's in the background, just like
shaking her head, like, please God, take me.
Yeah, I'm ready to go right now. Let's just get this over with.
Yep.
But the dentist guy, the father, him and the kid seem to like go on the road with the show, with the documentary. They do all like the Comic-Con stuff.
Yes.
The American cast is taking it for what it's worth. They're like, all right, we know this was a bad movie. For some reason, these hipsters love it. We'll go to all these shows. When they go to Italy and find the guy who directed it, and his wife is one of the writers, it goes 180. Because to them, this was his Citizen Kane.
Oh, he made a film, not a movie.
Yeah. How dare you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Has he ever done anything ever since that director?
He's made like 50 movies between Italy and America. He's done about 50 movies, this guy. But
anything salvageable?
But a bunch of them had like Italian titles on them, and people I've never even, Italian actors I've never heard of. But he's done like a few action, like B action movies here. He's popped off a couple of things here. They said, I think in the documentary too, they said he has like 50 films under his belt. But he's one of these guys you just never really heard of.
Well, there was another documentary. We both talked about it a couple of years ago. There was Canon Films.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, it was like, that's the kind of movie he did. I think a step below Canon Films.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because Canon Films at least had Stallone and had Schwarzenegger.
That was a great documentary. All right, the guy that directed was Claudio Fragasso. And he's done, let's see, as a director, he's done 30 movies. Or Italian, nothing. These are all Italian. The Squad, that was made in 2000.
Never heard of it. The whole cast seems Italian anyway. They might have dubbed it into English. Never heard of that. No. Yeah, pretty much most of these guys. Yeah, Night Killer. Who was in Night Killer? Peter, never heard of that guy. He made another, 1990, he made a horror movie as Clyde Anderson. Troll 2, by the way, his name is Drake Floyd, is the director. He's Clyde Anderson again in the movie Beyond Darkness. Clyde Anderson again, After Death. Strike Commando 2, he directed. And he was uncredited. Never heard of any of the people. And it's funny too, because the original Troll.
Yes.
Because Troll 2 is obviously a sequel, a question mark.
Yeah.
Troll was a good movie.
Yeah. Troll, I remember.
Yeah, it had the girl from V.
Let me bring up Troll.
The little girl in it was from the girl who played Elizabeth in the miniseries V, which was great.
1986. Michael Moriarty's in the original from Law and Order.
Sonny Bono's in the original.
Wendy Beck. Oh, Shelley Hack. She was, Sonny Bono is Pete Dickinson.
And the dude who played in Neverending Story, Atreyu.
Yes. The kid, and he was also in. They got his picture from the other one, the Tom Cruise movie, Legend. He's
Yes.
like the young Tom Cruise kid in
Yes.
Legend. And this is pretty funny. His name in Troll is Harry Potter,
Wow.
and Michael Moriarty's his father. Uh, Gary Sandy, the guy from WKRP in Cincinnati's in it. Anybody else? No. June Lockhart from Lost in Space. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Red Trooper.
She played the neighbor.
Yeah, and her husband, Brad Hall, is in it too. But yeah, this had, like you said, this has a decent cast.
Yeah, that was a decent movie.
The other one,
nothing like Troll 2.
Yeah, Troll 2 is just nothing. They even say it has nothing to do with the first one.
No, but there's a lot of sequels that just detach. Like the movie Chud was a great movie.
Yeah,
and then Chud 2 was nothing like that.
Yep,
it was horrible. Fright Night 2, bad.
Yeah, Fright Night 2 goes off. I wasn't even a big fan of the Fright Night remake, the Colin Farrell.
No, I didn't like
the
it.
remake.
It was very CG.
Yeah.
The original was great.
Yeah, the original was the best one. Roddy McDowell was great in it. The other guy kind of disappeared. Who was it? The kid, William. Who was it? William Radigan.
Oh yeah,
Charlie. Yeah, after that, I don't think he did anything else really. Evil Ed just did his gay porn, and that was.
And the other one became Marcy on.
Yeah, that's right, the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot about her.
And Peter Vincent, his thing before that was Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
He was one of the original Planet of the Apes.
Did you ever see that documentary, Making the Apes?
No.
That was really, it got into what they had to go through to do all the makeup stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy screwed over everybody else, the head guy, and he took all the credit, and it was another guy that really did it. It was, I think it's on Amazon or maybe on Apple, that Apple TV. I think it's called Making Apes. And it's really good. That was 1968.
Oh, yeah.
69 when they did that. And what they had to do. And those guys were, I think Roddy McDowell, and then when they were interviewed, said they had to sit in that chair 5-6 hours at a pop.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw, there's another documentary about, there's 5 of those original movies. When they get to those last couple, the budget is nothing. And they say if you watch in the background, the extras playing the apes, they're wearing like 99-cent ape masks that you buy at CVS.
Yeah.
And
that's when trick-or-treating used to be fun.
Yeah.
When they used to actually have those plastic masks that would cut your face.
Yeah. You couldn't breathe.
No.
You got to wear a sauna suit for the first time at 8 years old under all your other clothes and sweat and get sticky and everything else.
But I looked forward to it so much. Does anyone have shaving cream fights anymore? Like, I never see that.
No one has. Is anyone going out to buy a dozen eggs for
no, that was the thing. If you could melt down your shaving cream and put a pin in it to make it shoot farther, like that was your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you knew that trick, like, hey, give me that.
Yeah, it's usually always someone's brother who was in like 2 grades higher.
Yeah. Where'd you get a lighter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no one does that. When I was a kid, the cops used to drive around, the 114 used to drive around, and they go on Halloween, yo, kid, come here. They'd see like 10 of us. They'd call one of us to the car. They'd have a fire extinguisher and hit you with the fire extinguisher and say, go home.
And everyone would laugh and go home.
Everyone would laugh. We'd run down the block, wait for them to leave, and then we'd throw eggs at somebody.
Imagine that happened now.
Yeah. Half the city would be on fire, and
oh my God.
There would be protests for the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
You know what? We were talking about this earlier. Let me ask you this. Every year is the same debate. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? With that being said, is Ghostbusters a Halloween movie?
I would say no.
I agree. The movie came out #1 in the summer. And it has no ties whatsoever.
No ties whatsoever.
But I noticed it's been getting a lot of play recently.
Because they're making another one.
Well, they have it's the young kid version coming out now, whatever.
Or I don't know. I know that Dan Aykroyd is writing it, and with I think Sam Raimi and Sam Raimi's son.
Yeah, because I saw one trailer for it where they pull the
Is
car out of a barn.
Who's the director? Ivan Reitman.
Ivan Reitman.
And I think that Bill Murray's going to be in it.
He's on board.
And Ernie Hudson's going to be in it.
Well, he was in the last one, but both of them.
The girl one?
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Bill Murray has a nice little part in it, and then Ernie Hudson shows up at the end. He plays the black girl in it that was in it from Saturday Night Live.
Her father?
Her uncle.
Okay.
Because she's the one who gets they get a revamped Ghostbuster mobile, and it's his car, and he shows up at the end and takes it back or something, some shit. The movie it was a horrible movie anyway.
Yeah. But I'll see it. I'll see the new one when it comes out. It's all about. I think that these people like these 80s movies, and I revisit them because they're nostalgic. I can remember where I was, what I saw. I saw Lost Boys in the movies. I saw
that,
something like Back to the Future. I saw that in the movie theaters. Yeah. And seeing those movies still, that's why those movies are timeless. I could anytime Back to the Future's on, I'm watching it. It's just if it's on, I'm watching it. You know, Lost Boys, I watch a lot. That movie held up, special effects wise and makeup, and that's a great movie.
I love it because it's vampires actually had balls.
That's why
I like these. There's a little love story in it, but it's not this romantic love. It's just balls to the wall action. A little bit of the love story. I mean, when the little kid becomes a vampire, it's fucking hilarious.
Great.
Eddie Munster.
The attack of Eddie Munster.
Eddie Munster, yeah, it was great. And you had the two Coreys. I mean, come on. The movie writes itself.
You can't get better. Listen, we could talk for 3 hours on the two Coreys. Forget it.
I could do 3 shows on just License to Dream.
Oh, yeah.
Dream a Little Dream itself. So what else is new?
Not much.
Any I'm trying to think if there's anything good on the horizon. I haven't even seen any
trailers or anything
for anything enjoyable.
I watched the season finale of Walking Dead last night because I taped it, and it was I'm watching it solely based because I watched it from the beginning, and I feel like I am kind of grandfathered in now. But it's not good anymore.
I gave up. I want to say
you gave up a while ago.
Yeah, 4 or 5 seasons ago.
Yeah,
I think I gave Negan that season, maybe a season and a season after Negan, and I was like,
yeah,
it's the same shit. It's almost the same reason why I was gonna give up on Sons of Anarchy. I think if that went another season, I would have dumped it.
Yeah, I never got into that.
It's the same. To me, it was like the same arc. All right, we're going to do something. Bad thing happens that we can't get out of. We get out of. We'll see you next week. It's getting to those points with those kind of shows that they've been on for a while. It's how much more can they get out of?
Did you finish Kingdom?
Yes. I thought that was a great show. I thought that was a
great show. Anybody who's looking for a new show to watch on Netflix, watch Kingdom. Crystal told me about Kingdom. She's like, watch this show. She's like, it's pretty good. She's like, I think you'll like it. And I was hooked. I watched it twice in a row because I didn't want it to end. It's 3 seasons, and it's about a father and 2 sons who own like a UFC type gym.
Yeah, and he was like, the father's Frank Grillo, plays the father. And he's like a retired champ, and it's his gym, and he's training the 2 kids, and it's all the drama going on with that.
One kid's a fuck up, one kid's the right. is the golden boy, and it's a shit show in the best way. It's a great 2 thumbs up from me.
No, I thought it was. It was. It was a great show. There was a lot. This nice roller coaster of a story.
Yep.
Those last couple of episodes throw
a couple
you.
Oh shit moments.
Yeah.
Big oh shit moments. It was great.
Did you watch The Boys at all? Are you caught up on The Boys?
I did season 1 and liked it. I just started season 2 and I wasn't paying attention, so I shut it off. I may circle around again. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
I got into season 2. It's good. It picks up. Yeah, you got to give it some time. It's really good. I just like it because I'm just tired of every other superhero movie being the same.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't.
Yeah,
it takes it to that nice dark place. The character, that guy Homelander, after this season, he should get nominated for an Emmy.
Really?
I think he is one of the best characters on TV that no one talks about.
Wow.
Because he's got to play that facade of being like Superman, and then once the cameras are off him, he is just complete evil.
Oh yeah.
And he is great at it.
Yeah.
And he's also.
Yeah, I remember season 1. It was good.
Yeah. He gets better this season. And it gets a little twisty and a little freaky and weird.
Okay.
Like episodes in, he's really out there.
Okay.
He's really out there. Yeah, definitely give that a look.
I will.
And I think with that, I'm gonna wrap this puppy up. We're gonna put it to bed. So
we can sit here all day. We're gonna have. Yeah.
I had more notes where we could have just kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
So, but I want to thank my buddy Jack for coming on today. As always, go to I Can Paint on Instagram. Look at this guy's work. It's phenomenal. I just saw the stuff you did for Brian.
Yes.
That was Brian's, right? Yeah. Look,
yep.
It came out great. Take a look at this guy's stuff. He does phenomenal work. And also check out Time on the Job. Also on Instagram. They put out some real funny content. And if you're upstate, the Greenwood area, Lake area, check out my buddy Joe at the Irish Whisper. Mention me and he'll give you a free glass of water. All right. As always, you can find me on Instagram, Crack House Podcast. You got Twitter, Crack House at Crack House Pod. And check, you want to drop me a line, my Gmail, crackhousepodcast@gmail.com. I'll see everybody next week. And be safe, everybody.